welcome to the Good Morning Education Show. My name is Rotimi Etai. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining. And this is the Good Morning Education Show. We are live streaming from Lagos, Nigeria to West Africa and, of course, to the entire world. It's such a great opportunity and such a great delight to always come your way every day, Mondays to Friday. If you're joining us for the first time, please do let us know. Tell us your name. Tell us where you're streaming from. Tell us about yourself, and we'll celebrate you and, of course, ring the bell of blessing to you. Today is another day, and I'm sure that if you know someone who should be watching the show, please do not hesitate to send the link to them, invite them, communicate with them to be a part of this experience. And I'm sure they will never have any form of regrets, right? They will have no form of regrets at all. And without wasting much time, I just want to say this, that as we have our conversation today, we will be speaking on something quite interesting. And topic is really something that runs deep down, or down deep. We'll be having a conversation on that topic, and we will be expecting that you will contribute with us. Share your thoughts about it. But don't just stop there. Also ask questions along the line. We'll be having our analysts join us on the program, and they're going to share their thoughts as well on some of the things that we're talking about. We're going to review the news, and I'd like us to also have your comments when we're reviewing the news. So we're able to do that as well. Thank you so much. This is the Good Morning Education Show. I will be right back, and then we'll continue our conversation. And we're right back. This is the Good Morning Education Show, and we're excited to be here. Let me just say good morning to some of you who are already here. Folu, good morning. Thank you for joining us today. How are you today? Joining us from the city of Ibadan. Great to have you here. Thanks for joining. And of course, our ever-present Gideon Essien. Good morning. Oh, thank you so much, Gideon. Gideon Essien, thank you so much, Gideon. Thank you for joining. We always get to have our analysts and experts join us on the show, and we're going to bring them up, and they're going to share their views on the subject matter, from the news to the topic of the day. So, without wasting much time, we have our ever beautiful, dazzling chick in the house, safety conscious, love author, white looking.
This love authorship that you have given me, I'm not a relationship.
Red lipstick, nail painting chick. You know, safety chick, you should have your own. You need to have your own fire extinguisher, beautified fire extinguisher. Chick extinguisher. That kind of thing. If the cylinder will not just be like that, you will have a figure 8 kind of thing. Like, oh my God, to have and to hold whenever there's fire.
I'll write that down. I have a document called Ideas Dump, where I put little thoughts that I have, or ideas and plans. So I'll write it down. Fire extinguisher in a figure in an hourglass shape.
Yes. Now you get it. So you just want to hold it. I just hope that they don't hold it and not use it, so that the fire doesn't burn them with the extinguisher. All right. This is the Good Morning Education Show. And today we'll be talking about something interesting. We're going to be speaking on the topic, you don't need further maths. You don't need further maths. What is this topic about? You'll find out shortly. But before then, we have some news items, I believe, that we should actually take time out to address. And the first one is admissions, list of schools that have released admissions. That's talking about that from the Newsport NG. Newsport NG. What are your thoughts about that?
Oh, I think it's great. Because many people were, sort of in limbo last year. Those who were supposed to get into school last year, they were sort of in this limbo and all that. So I think it's good that there is some information. At least people would be able to make plans on what they're supposed to do with regards to going to school. Yeah, so I think it's good.
And also, I think this is the first time that we'll be having that extended effect of merging 2 years in terms of results, JAMB, and all those things. Yeah, so it's quite an interesting one as well. All right, still in the news, we also have another one. Nigerian secondary school students build mobile robots, and of course, the robot in itself is coming out in an Ankara style. So it's the news actually is You want to say something?
When I said it got my attention, yes, the Ankara stuff got my attention, and it's almost like when we're encouraging people to create global solutions with local input, with local context. So yeah, I liked it. I like the idea of it because if the Barbie doll is now being made to look African, or people are now making dolls that look African who are wearing African fabric, why can't our robots also have a touch of Africa on them? So yeah, I like the idea. And more importantly, it's not even just the Ankara thing. The fact that it's actually something that is going to protect healthcare workers, it's a useful solution. And I hope that the right parties look into it and see how the solution can be, should I say, expanded and made useful in society.
Okay, so we have another headline that speaks about the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson says girls' education key to ending poverty.
Interesting. Oh, well, we've been saying it since all these years.
I don't understand that last I don't understand. I don't understand.
Because at this point in time, you are beginning to align with the men folk. That's why you're not understanding it yet. Welcome, Mr.
David. With the men folk. All of a sudden, sounding like Lion Cub, where you're having no. Which movie is that? Jungle Boy.
Tarzan.
No, Jungle Boy. Mowgli.
Oh yeah. Yes. Anyway.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. Good morning. How are you?
Very well. Thank you.
So we're taking the news at the moment, and as you can see, we also have another headline. Rotary donates 2.5 million naira e-learning center to a school.
Honestly, before I talk about that one, I don't know if people have talked about the headline that says the Sokoto lawmaker shares 2 million to 400 students. Have you guys talked about that yet?
No, we are not. We're not yet there.
You're not yet there. Okay. Honestly, Rotary is one organization I admire. because from Tete, you know, when we say from Tete, I remember when I was much younger, I always wanted to say I was going to join Rotary. You know, I like their code of conduct. You know, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? It just shows, you know, some basic understanding of how we treat each other, and they've been known for supporting their community for like forever. So this is nothing new. It's just laudable, and we say a big thank you. We need more and more people, more and more organizations to support the education sector, especially from a technology-driven perspective. You know, I am a strong believer that there needs to be a change in the kind of support coming into education, and a lot of it needs to be technology. And the reason why I say that is that if you give a textbook to a child, it's good. But imagine that the child has a device that then allows them to access so many textbooks even beyond what their teacher know that they need, you know. So that's really, for me, as we, you know, support the education sector, I want a lot of it to be technology driven, because we can make a greater impact with technology than, you know, than the brick and mortar. But well done to Rotary of Onigbongbo, you know, for that, because they donated it to Wasimi here in Lagos State. So wonderful. Thank you very much, Rotary.
And going away from Nigeria, let's get to the United States of America. 12 days after Biden's inauguration, U.S. announces openings for Yoruba Hausa teachers.
Safety chick is smiling so much. Let me allow her talk.
Safety chick Igbo.
Is there Igbo teacher? There is no Igbo teacher. Oh well, the thing is, I think every year we have this exchange program that happens almost every year, where they call for teachers with this languages, you know, and that an exchange opportunity, they learn and all that. I'm not certain if this is still that same one, or if this one is a different appointment. If it is the TEA, I know that TEA is like an exchange program where they allow them to come, learn, also share what they know, and then of course, you know, go back to your host country and all that. So yeah, it's a good one. I like the fact that they're trying to promote these languages. I hope that more opportunities open up for Igbo language to actually be taught, because that's one of our languages that is almost going into extinction, because
they lie.
We don't speak it. We don't speak it in. See, I'm serious now. This is me, an Igbo girl, right? And I was telling, in fact, some days. Say that again.
Yoruba is going.
What did he say?
As far as I'm concerned, the order in which they are going extinct, right? The one that is the highest is Yoruba, followed by Hausa.
That is not true at all. You guys speak your language so easily.
You speak Igbo more than the average Yoruba person. Hey.
No, let me give you the fact. You guys speak Yoruba so well. Like sometimes the Yorubas even just forget themselves and add it in gist, even with people that were not Yoruba. But we Igbos grew up. Okay, let me say it this way, because it's not everybody. Most Igbos grew up in an environment where you were expected to speak English. You know, you wanted to be educated. You know, it was that grasp of wanting to be educated. You know, going to go and learn, and so anything language was somehow being kept aside. So you would go to many Igbo homes, and in fact, they have a terminology where some senior Igbo people call it, my mama say I be Igbo, which means you know that you are Igbo, but you don't know the language. So I remember, was it last week or 2 weeks ago, my younger sister sent me an Instagram handle of someone who teaches Igbo. And I said, even me, I'm interested. I need to learn, because I worry about my children. I don't even know enough to teach my child. That's how bad it is. And I'm not the only one. There are many of us like this who are Igbos, but we can't speak. Like, when I go to the village, I worry that somebody's going to hold me in a conversation and I wouldn't know what to say. You know, so it's a problem. It's a problem. But many times you keep hearing, oh, Yoruba, outside, they're calling for teachers, but you don't really hear that. And that's why many Igbos outside the country, they are very deliberate about making sure that children go through Igbo classes so that children learn. Otherwise, they wouldn't know anything in the language. And I think now more people are beginning to, see how to increase that knowledge, of the Igbo language. But many times, Yorubas and Hausa, that their language is going out.
Okay.
Gideon is saying statistics, use data.
Thank you.
He's not speculating. There are many Igbos like because anyway.
Ugochi, but you know that beyond having statistics as well, if you look at it from the level of cultural integration, association, when you look at the affinity to identifying with your location, going back home every year and during special holidays, when you look at the depth of investment and identification with your roots, the Igbo clan or the Igbo tribe has been very, very successful at having that continuity. Many times
because we are spread across the world, and that is our only chance to come back and have that thing. Otherwise, it will not even exist.
Even culture, some of the things that I've discovered is you hear people say that an Igbo person does not sleep outside, meaning that if an Igbo person dies, there's a higher chance and preference that he will be buried back in his hometown as opposed to anywhere else. So it's not every tribe is spread across. Ugochi, every tribe is spread across.
Culture,
that's the honest truth.
Culture is different from language proliferation.
Let's look at Nigeria alone. Let's look at Nigeria alone.
I'm serious. Culture.
All right.
Culture, like I used to say that the Igbos, their Omenala, there was a day I had to put up a post last year because of something that happened in the village, and I said Omenala needs to move with the times. Culture is different from language proliferation. The fact that culture is obvious, but does not mean people are speaking the language. The language is dying. People are not making deliberate attempts.
Is a reinforcement. Culture is a reinforcement, right? Culture is reinforcement. Okay. You can see it in weddings too. So if you want to get married, I can tell you the truck of yam that will come out of. Don't be saying infiltration. Let's go to Sokoto, Jare. Sokoto Lawmaker shares 2 million to 400 students. Is it that they share 2 million amongst 400?
Is it that?
2 million each.
Let me calm down. You know the answer to that question. I quickly brought out my calculator to do the math to say it's 5,000 naira. Each child will get 5,000 naira. 2 million is divided amongst 400. I think I was trying to find out more details of the news to say what was the objective.
Yes.
What's the and it's important to know that what's the objective is the objective that one election is coming up and is a stomach infrastructure, or is it to help them? So let's say that we know how the year has been, and you then want to support them because the people in that community are struggling, then it's laudable. So for me, I just was trying to say what's it behind it. Have we prioritized their needs? What would the 5,000 do? This is just me personally, depending on the circumstance, I almost prefer to have been giving food stuff that equivalent to money, just because, depending on the situation of the children, the one that will benefit them more. Because you can give 5,000 naira, a drunken father will take it and go and use it to drink with his friends under the what tree is popular in the north now? Sokoto. The carrot tree. But when you take food stuff, Celtic is laughing. But when you take food stuff, it's a bit harder. When you take textbooks, what is needed is a bit harder. But whatever the reason, we say thank you to the Sokoto lawmaker. I think it's important that we continue to be conscious of what we term as Maslow's law, to students, especially children in less privileged places, because let's know it's hard to learn on an empty stomach. A lot of children, especially those that attend public school, actually go to school without food. We know that, NGOs that support schools, some of what they do is even try to support them to have a meal a day, because they know that that meal they eat in school will end up being their main balanced meal. So kudos to the lawmaker. Like I said, let's continue to support, but let's continue to prioritize our support to where it's most needed. Yeah, back to you guys.
Okay. Gideon was helping you with the tree. Titi.
Thank you, Gideon. You're correct. Gideon was like, you've been to Sokoto. Okay, Rotimi, back to you. Let's move on to to this day's topic.
No, there's just one more I wanted us to talk about, and it's the 50-year-old Nigerian woman that got admitted to JSS2.
Amazing, like
it's never too old. I mean, anybody that's out there listening, it's never too old. You know, let me even give a story of my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law is in her 70s. I think about 5 or 10 years, no, not to 10, maybe like 5, 7 years ago, she told me she came and told her children she wanted to know how to use the internet. She wanted to be sending emails. I was like, she wanted to learn, how you went to computer school to learn that. She used to take her lessons seriously. My mother-in-law is an ex-teacher and ex-people. But I was stripped, honestly. I was stripped at the fact that she wanted to learn. It's never too old. And I'm saying she was in her 60s. So kudos to the woman. You know you need it. Don't be humble. It's never too late. There was this story of a man too that went and finished his high school, quite old. So it's never too late. If you've retired and you have time, go back and do any of the things that you want. I remember my friend had already graduated. He had graduated from university. His junior sister had graduated from his university when his mother went back to school to read law. So I would always encourage you, chase your dreams. Let age never limit you, no matter what it is. Humble yourself. Just eat the humble pie. Then go for it.
I totally agree with you. I totally agree. I attended a leadership conference last month or 2 months ago, and the lady that I got to meet, one lady, and she told me how after her 4th child, she went back to the university. She did her BSc, and then even layered a master's on top, and now they're even considering her as like a teaching assistant, and our children are so proud of her because she was able to make that switch. So yes, 50 is never too old. Just never know what can come out of this, and I think that should encourage every other person, because there are some people that are in their 30s who are not able to do certain things yet, and they're already feeling, oh, I'm too old, I've passed that level. If a 50-year-old can go back to junior secondary school, then you really have no excuse whatsoever.
There are even some people that made their money in their 60s. They hit their millions in their 60s. So age, what people say it is, what about your goals? Just chase it. Don't consider your age. If you want to change your career now and look at it, I'm old, it doesn't matter. There's some people that, there's some musicians that hit when they were old. There's some people that even actors, that they really became famous when they were older. Morgan Freeman. Simon Cowell too. It wasn't when he was young. He was already in his 40s. Look at Morgan Freeman. Morgan Freeman really, even Samuel L. Jackson. A lot of his, coming to fame was when he was much older. So it's never too old. Anybody that is hearing me, it's not too old. Go chase your dreams.
You're muted, Mr. Rotimi.
I'm going to get back at you. I'm going to get back at you. Definitely. This is your white feet and white clothes. No problem.
Child of light.
Some
Okay.
people jealous you. Some people jealous you. Some people jealous you because of your white teeth.
Titi, Nigeria Music Records. Okay. All right. I noticed you said something's coming out. So this is the record. Okay. All right. Today we're speaking on you need further maths. And I'm sure a lot of people are thinking about if we're discarding the subject. But this is not really about a subject for those who care to know. What we're just trying to do is we're trying to get people away from documenting expertise. We're trying to get people away from documenting further expertise. We're trying to make people get to understand that, look, all you have right now can actually be enough. If you're going to get to champion more out of your life, you need to understand that less is more. It's a major principle you need to embrace. A lot of times we've complicated our pursuit and our dreams and aspiration with the fact that there's a concept of further maths. If I can just get this and this and this and this, I'll be able to fix education. If I can just get this and this and this and that, I'll be able to transform the students in my class. Only if. Sometimes we hear this when we train. Sometimes we hear this while we mentor and coach people. Sometimes we hear this on the streets of Facebook. A lot of people are so helpless to the fact that they're in a state of learned helplessness just because there's a concept of further maths that has to take place before they become further in what they do. Further maths in itself is difficult by concept. So we always make life more difficult by the things we want to reach out for and discard with so much of defective eyesight what we have in the present. Your time is available to you. Your life is available to you. Friendships are a resource. It's not until everything is turned down to cash before we move further. So today we are talking about breaking that limiting belief of the further maths concept in what we do, in how we do what we do, and how we express what we do. So ladies, over to you. What are your thoughts?
you know,
Okay.
let me take it from the angle of what you said about further maths. Further maths is not required for every subject. And the idea of further maths, I'm going to use this too. The idea of further maths is to make it easier, to introduce the higher level concept that you will need for where you're going. That's really what further maths is. So if you're studying subjects like maths in school, university, if you're studying something like physics, if you're studying subjects like engineering, some of those actuarial science and things like that, having further maths kind of helps, is like breaking the ground. It makes it easier. If not, you might, and it makes you able to get on it faster. But getting on it faster doesn't necessarily mean we'll not all get to our destination. So it's like someone that takes a car and someone that takes a keke napep or someone that takes an okada. If we're all going to the same place, we'll all eventually get there, at the same time. So the reason why I'm putting this out there is so that people realize, truly, as Rotimi said, you just need to start. That's what I would say. So don't wait till you have it all together. Remember what I said. The person that takes the Okada or the person that takes a bus or the person that takes a car, if you're all getting to the same destination, if we're all saying that we'll all get there. The difference is, is in the timing. And it's important that you also don't put, once you realize that I will still get there, it's also important that you don't put yourself under pressure. Don't say because I don't have a car to go to this destination, then I should sit at home, or because I don't have a car to go to this destination, sit at home. So the concept of do I need further maths is say it helps. It can make you get there faster, but you can still get there without it. That's what I wanted to bring out. Same analogy with the bus, the car, the plane. It will help you get there faster. So if it's something that you need for the job, it will help you get there faster if you have it. But if you don't have it, doesn't mean you won't get to your destination. So don't put yourself under pressure. For me, what's important is that start. Start whatever it is you want to do. And there was something I saw on Pastor Sam Adeyemi's Twitter handle, and that's what I put up on my WhatsApp status, and a lot of people are reaching out to me and say, "Oh, on point." And I'll just read it. It says, "Make that call, send that email, put in that proposal, put in that application, start that business, solve that problem, sell that product or service." You don't know what's on the other side of your action. There might be miracles, but just that's the same concept of, you don't have all the money, just start. I think that was last week when I was saying, "Oh, I want to start a salon, but I don't have money to pay the rent, to buy the equipment." What was my answer to that? Go and get the customers and go to their house. Then they start to gather the money. Start. So money is on. When people say they need money to start, it's their excuse. I keep giving examples of people that started their schools as extension lessons in their parlor, and then one day they were able to use their compound, and then the next thing they had enough money to pay the rent. So the reason why you've not started a school is not because you don't have money, it's because you are giving yourself excuses to procrastinate. You want to apply for that. What we talked about when we were talking about applications as well. Just start this year. No excuses. Start. Over to you, Safety Chief.
Okay, thank you so much for sharing that. And I really liked what you shared, because that's just the truth about it. You've got to start. You don't have to have excuses. I'll just like to layer something else on top of that. So many times people keep thinking that I don't have this, so I can't do that. Now, my own question to you is, the one that you have, how well have you milked it? How well have you used it to, how well have you layered knowledge on it? So many times people want to do things the way other people are doing it. Meanwhile, there is a unique way you have been wired to do it. So for example, I'm in the safety industry, right? But I don't do safety the way the other people in the industry do it. I have a communication background. I know how to speak. I know how to write. I know how to simplify complex knowledge. So I will stay there. And that's why my own area of safety, I'm always simplifying the content. I'm always trying to make it, use my communication skills, my communication background to create things on safety. So you see me creating books, you see me thinking of a game, you see me doing videos. So I would be different in that way. So the one that how well are you doing? And when you do it well, then the next thing is you have to seek to be the master there. Then when people are looking for somebody in that area, they should look to you. How do you become a master? Have you gone to go and do some personal study on how to be the best person there? So for example, your gift is writing, and you would love to speak, you would love to train, you love to do that, but you know that when you write, you make the difference. So why don't you make sure that your writing goes off the roof? So you are taking personalized writing courses. You are taking lessons on how to make sure that your writing is more persuasive. You are taking lessons to ensure that your writing can convert. So you don't even have to be speaking on a stage, but your writing just needs to go out and it does the work for you. So there are some people that they are not great at maybe speaking in front of crowds, but they still have the knowledge of the person that speaks on crowd. So how about you just work with 10 people, and the money you will charge for one-on-one even be different from when you are charging for crowd. So the thing is, know your own self. Where are you most graced? Then milk it to the highest, in the highest possible way. Layer knowledge on it, layer expertise, layer practice. Just do everything so that anytime anybody thinks in that direction, you are the first person they will think of. And so you see that you are still achieving as much, but maybe not just in the way other people are doing theirs, but you are still getting the benefit of what you are trying to achieve. So I think if people start looking at themselves for real, what can I do and how can I take it to the best possible level, they will see that they don't have to be like someone else, or they don't have to be looking at all those things that are outside. They have a lot already to work with.
Yeah.
Fantastic. I like the fact that Titi was able to even start with the fact that further math is a subject, but it's also an elective. It's not compulsory that you take further maths. And so using that principle for those of us within the world of education, we need to understand that there are times that you need to identify what we call essentials to your purpose essentials to your pursuit, essential to your profession. There are times that there are things that are nice, but they are non-essential. They are important, but they are non-essential. They are good, but they are non-essential. They are benchmarks and conditions, but they are non-essential. I'll take you back to many years ago when I was starting the speaking and consulting mainstream. That time I remember I had a cousin working in a very reputable organization. And it sat me down. This my cousin is a down-to-earth person. He's always encouraging me and all that. But there was a time he sat me down and he said, look, if you want to do anything like motivational speaking, he now mentioned somebody's name. He said, look, you know why we are clapping? It's not because of the person speaking, no, that he knows that I can speak, oh, that do you have a 3 Series BMW? The person that is referencing to that time was using a Koja series BMW. He said, do you have a suede jacket? You know, that time, that was the era before, if you were to know a motivational speaker, you will know the motivational speaker by their pocket square. You know, that was the era that began pocket square wearing. I'm sure, Titi, you remember. 2005, 2006 was when people started wearing pocket square. So once you say I'm a consultant, or even if you're not a consultant, once I look at your pocket square, I'll just say, are you a consultant? Are you a speaker? You know. So I said, look, do you have a suede or a velvet jacket? You don't have. You don't have a BMW. Look, the reason why we'll stand and speak, or the reason why we'll accept you speaking, is because you have all those things. That's the motivation people are looking for, not the words. And that thing dampened my spirit, because this is someone very close to me. And I'm sure he meant the best for me. He was telling me, he said, oh boy, go and do masters, Jerry, leave motivation. You know, I really looked at it and I said, that's true. So what I decided to do was I flipped the coin and I said, okay, I'm going to come as I am, but I'm going to come with something with extra value. And I did one and it was good. I did the other. Now, back up to some years after, this my cousin is in the US, is about being a professor now. And he called me and he said, you know what, that I should come and test run. That was the time I was starting the Face Your Fear template, when I was doing the Courage Consulting template as well. He said, come and use me as guinea pig. You know how we started together. You know, I've been encouraging. So I should use him as guinea pig. I will not pay, so that he will be able to now market me to his American colleagues in Schlumberger and all the rest. And I asked my, sometimes I did not say anything, but not because he was saying it was free, but I just was laughing, because look at the contrast of life. I still did not buy the BMW 3 Series. I have enough jackets today. But there is someone, and he's in an influential place, saying I should use him as guinea pig. I don't want guinea pigs, I want human beings. You know, so, but the truth is, even when sometimes the whispers come close, you still have to start. The best thing that you would do to avoid regret is if you have been able to identify that this is what you have to do. You've been able to identify you are a bit equipped for it, and there's value in the space, and you are able to position yourself well. I think sometimes you might need to just disappoint your fear, right? To shame your fear, to shame the whispers. Sometimes do it, you know. That's really about it. And we need to understand there are many times I've met thousands of educators, Titi. Safety Chick, I've met thousands of educators. And sometimes the problem that really prevails is not the fact that they don't know what to do. There are people like that too. But a lot of people know what to do, but they feel there's still more before they do it. There's a lot of plus or pluses before they do it. And it's not just educators, also people outside education. So how do we get people, right? How do we get people from moving them away from that mentality where they look at what they have and they don't consider the other things that they don't have? How do we move them from that defective mindset into an effective mode where they are affirmative that they are going to try. At least it's worth the signature on earth. You know, I tell people that the fact that we are billions of people on earth tells you that it is wrong for us to look the same. It is wrong for us to be the same. Because the person that created us, I'm sure, if he was looking for likeness and similarity, it will make us this many. Do you get? So 7 point something billion or so, you cannot have everybody waiting to have what Bill Gates has before we begin to try to make an impact or change the world. You cannot have 7 billion Bill Gates, so to speak. You understand? You only have a Bill Gates. The rest are copies and shadows. Safety Chick, you want to say something to that?
So my screen looks frozen, so I'm not exactly sure if you can hear me and if you can see me.
We can hear you. You're fine. You can hear you and see.
Okay, the screen was frozen a bit. Okay, so yes, I agree with you really, because I think that's where the problem is. When people look at what they admire, in a coach, in a mentor, in an influential figure, or for example, Elon Musk, and they just want to template their life exactly. It shouldn't be. There is that unique spice about you. That's what will make you to stand out. That's what's going to attract your real tribe to you. So if you now remove it because you are trying to be like someone else, then you lose the essence. You lose it. So I think we're not saying don't speak things that you admire. We're only saying that don't now lose your own self, the real you, the thing that makes you different, the thing that would make it to stand out, the thing that would actually be your selling point at the end of the day. So yes, when you, like I mentioned earlier, just make sure that when you identify what it is, layer knowledge, a lot of knowledge on it, layer experience, layer excellence on it, and you just start that.
All right. So, Titi, Titi is looking like she's reflecting. You want to share a personal experience? Titi?
No, I wrote me. Don't look for my trouble, so I don't look for I think you both said it, in terms of whatever you want to do, try to be unique. I think that's what Safety Chica said. I use this particular example all the time. You can go to a particular street and there are plenty restaurants there. Each of them might even be serving similar menus, but there's usually something a bit different about each of them that draws their customers. So don't look at it and say so many other people are doing it. It doesn't matter. Do yours and do yours uniquely you. And then that's the first thing that Safety Chief said, that I really like, just do you, you can be trying to copy someone, you become a copycat. But when you, there's only one original. And so I'll say whatever you want to do, just do you, read, study, and then add your unique flavor to how you're going to do that. So it's really, really, really important that you do you. This year, if you've been following us since the beginning of the year, you can see that we are trying to put all the foundation ready necessary for you to fly this year, for you to be you. So we started by talking about goals, we talked about resolution, we talked about a number of things. And now we are trying to help remove all the stumbling block and all the excuses they are trying to give yourself, as to why you can't be you and why you can't start. So I'm just hoping that anyone that is listening out there, this year, you will just take away all the excuses, take away all the obstacles. And I will end what Rotimi said. Don't think because you decide to be you that you have a long line of people waiting and applauding you. No. We only associate with people when they've succeeded. When they're about to start, we come up with all the reasons why you cannot do it. You're not tall enough, you're not fine enough. Other people are doing it, you're already late. Do you understand? People always give you, but when you succeed, then everybody's like Rotimi said about his own. I remember she's my friend. I remember when she started. I was supporting. I used to buy her product. You want to hook up with her? I will give you a number.
Yeah, I remember
remember that time when they were telling you've been at this thing, but it hasn't yet gelled. You don't yet blow. I mean, you don't blow. You're still at it. Maybe you should go back to pay the employment, though. You know, we all are only like to be associated with things that are successful. So, what I would say is drown the naysayers. You know, drown the naysayers. Go out for your source of strength, your source of inspiration. You know, Seti Chiku say her source of strength and source of inspiration is God. Yes, I'm hoping that it is yours as well. Because when God said He gave you this gift, He gave you this talent for you to be you. So go and look for a source of inspiration and talent. Drown the naysayers. That's what I'll say. But I would say drown the naysayers doesn't mean you also shouldn't constantly evaluate what it is that you're doing to get better. So when people are telling you, oh, do this, you know, evaluate it. Don't think, oh, they're all trying to. This is not yet. The quality of what you're doing is not yet, you know, at par. Have you checked out these people? Have you checked out these people? Those people are trying to give you constructive feedback. You need to listen to that one. You know, but when they give you feedback or say, no, you can't do it, you know, instead of giving you the specific thing that you need to work on to be better, there are two different things. Don't think you know it all, no. All of us are learning. Okay, back to you.
Okay, so we have a comment as well. Olumide Olushola saying, mindset. We should know that to think flexibly and productively entails risk. Yet, we shouldn't be afraid of entertaining new ideas, but give it the effort it requires. The human mind is naturally creative, but can go dead from lack of challenge and novelty. Absolutely. And of course, you heard it from the horse's mouth. You heard Titi say that you need to drown the naysayers. Now, what if the naysayers are the you sayer? That's the you is the naysayer. What happens when it's not really the external forces that are saying no?
I would say that if anybody has that problem, the person must get into a community of doers. Get into a place where what you see as wow is your normal in that place. Even if you don't do anything, just because you're in that environment, everybody keeps sharing, everybody is achieving. You're absorbing something. You absorb at some point, you will even know where I'm the only one that you will just start moving. Because you have to work on yourself from the inside, right? So you see, aside working on yourself from the inside, you've also got to take action, deliberate action by put yourself out there, put yourself in spaces where people are making things happen. When you hear what they are sharing, you are hearing that, but then you begin to see that these are also human beings like you. None of them has two heads right there. So, and you can't even start claiming, oh, it's because they did masters, because that's another thing that affects a lot of people. They will say, he did masters abroad, or the family members, all that is BS.
Not just masters abroad. You know, there are masters, and there are masters.
Why these kind of work? They give themselves reasons, and that's why when I have my strategy sessions with clients, I tell them that you don't have to be a big man's child or be born into a connected family for certain things to work for you. All you need to do is know what you want to do. Right? Then look for platforms that will help to scale down anybody. I normally say that I was born with a silver spoon, but then that spoon got missing along the way, right? But today, there's something, it's true. People laugh, very true. I kid you not. My father was a very rich man, like, but I'm serious. But you know, life happened, and we started growing again. But then, because I was able to key into certain platforms, of course, with hard work and doing excellent and diligent work, things began to open up, and I made a name out. You know, sometimes it's just like a joke. I still can't believe some of the things that have happened to me when I try to chronicle certain things. It's strange, but I see that if you are deliberate and you put yourself on certain platforms, things will work out for you. And you see, again, when we tell people to get onto platforms, some people now go to the platforms. I tell people, okay, join professional associations or join clubs like Rotary, we talked about this one. And then you go there to go and do floor member. No, you don't go there to be floor members. You go there to learn. You go there to serve. You go there to put yourself out. Because what happens when you find yourself on platforms is when people get to know you as a person, they see your diligence, they see your character, they see your attitude. When they get somewhere and your expertise is needed, because they know you on a personal basis, it's easier for them to recommend because you know that you're not going to embarrass them. And so this is why everybody keeps on talking about your personal brand is going to be so important in this decade. It's not where you work. You are not a banker. You are not whatever bank you work with or whatever consultancy you work with. You, the individual, are the one that will make a difference for yourself, because organization will begin to look for you as a person, what you bring to the table. So if you've not packaged yourself, if you're not putting yourself out there, they're not doing the work. Because again, we're not asking to put yourself out there and be a nuisance. You've got to be doing good stuff, you know, so that people can recommend you easily. You need to be somebody that people can recommend easily. If there is one thing I want you to take out of everything we've done today, be someone that can be recommended easily because of diligence of the work.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. And I'm so happy that you found the silver spoon. I'm sure you found that spoon back. Just reminded me of a song where the guy said he was going to see that spoon. Then he used the word, "I lost the spoon." So I'm sure that you're going to keep that spoon, aren't you? You're not going to leave it in the kitchen.
Of course.
So,
3 generations to keep it locked down.
This your O'Shea that is getting scars. What's happening
now? O'Shea, we're waiting for this O'Shea.
That. Oh my goodness, it's a great thing. So, what I would like us to address before we bring this to a close is the fact that people are hearing what we're saying, and sometimes they love what we're saying, but a lot of people are attracted and tempted to go grand. You know, everybody wants to do something complicated. If it's not complicated, it's not swag enough. There's no swagnificence in doing something subtle and simple. You know, that's the way I see a lot of people gravitating towards. You know, what do we do to that? You know, someone out there wants to be great, but thinks that what he has to do has to be so grandiose in nature. And sometimes they come back to the question, how can you now say I don't need further maths? Because what I want to do is to take me further. Yeah, Titi.
I saw a post on Insta. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay, I saw a post on Instagram yesterday, and they said Rome was not built in a day, but they were laying bricks every hour. And that's just it. For those that want to go big, it doesn't start from, you don't just wake up and you grow big. It starts from the little things, how well you do the little things. And then over time, when somebody looks at all those little things, it looks like a very big thing. I give an example of how I got featured on the UNOCHR's website. Because first of all, it started as, we want to feature your story in this booklet. And then I get another email. We really like your story. We want you to come and share it at the launch of the event. I'm like, okay, no problem. And later I get another email. We really like this your story. We want to feature it on the homepage of the website of the UNOCHR. At that point, I had to go and read what I sent to them because I was amazed. Okay, what exactly did I say? As I read what I sent, I saw that it was a combination of all the little things. So during the pandemic, we wrote a small book. We gave 1,000. During the pandemic, we created app. We did school safety summit. We did a game. You know, we're speaking on social media, training on Facebook, training on, that was all. So a combination of all the small things you do, when it is brought together, it gives you a very big thing. And people be like, wow, that is the swag, that is the swagnificent. But it doesn't just happen, it doesn't fall from the sky. It starts from the small things you are doing very well. So by the time the story is strung together, it gives that beautiful masterpiece you are looking for.
So you hear people say, go big or go home. And thanks to Olushola, I said, external sayers are bad, naysayers are bad, internal naysayers are worse. If you don't value yourself, most people will value you. So Titi, I want you to stress on this as we end the show today, right? Someone out there has listened to us and is saying that I kind of get you guys and I'm excited about what you say. But from my own perspective, I am an organization. Take, for example, I am a school. I am a business, right? I'm not the individual, but your conversations are tilting towards the individual. Is there any application of what we've said today to those who are driving organizations? Titi.
Okay. Yes, it's really the same thing. You know. And I like to give personal examples as much as possible to bring things home. I have a number of products and they all have different prices. Sometimes I'm always like, oh, I really want to make it affordable. I really want to make it affordable. I don't want it to be expensive. I want people to be able to buy it. And then you do it and people just go, oh, this is just too cheap. I don't want it. It's too cheap. And so I woke up one day. I just want to also know that this thing of valuing yourself is not you get there and it's a destination. It's a constant battle. For a lot of people, very few people are people that are very confident, value themselves in every area. Those people are few. Most of us are in the other room, where we constantly battle with whether what we are doing is worth, the display and all the recommendations that we get. Most of us are in that room. So you know what? So I just said to myself, the next one I looked at, I said, this thing is valuable. I'm going to not feel for the other person. I'm going to put it at the point of the value that I feel that it is. And that's what I did. You still get people that see the value and pay for the value. You're not for everybody. That's the first thing I had to just realize. So during this last Christmas, I did the gift box. Sometimes I always try to say, let's do different price range and all that, so that people. I would literally agreed that with my team. There was a 10K box, there's a 15K box, and a 20K box. I called my team. I said, oh boy, the effort for marketing all those 3 boxes is the same. We are only selling 20K gift boxes. I'm not doing. The people that want to let them, and they were amazed that we sold out. So what I'm just letting people know that there's always that constant value, that constant battle. I was recently doing a job, so I'm talking about a company. I'm not even talking about the company as when I say I'm referring to my company. And then when I put the price, I looked at the price of the work and I put a particular amount, and then I'm like, oh, this is too small, Jerry. Do you understand? But sometimes that this thing is, there's a premium to it. They can get various people to do it, but the element of the value that you bring, I had to just tell myself, no. I know this thing is not. I put a markup. So there's a constant battle. That's what I'm saying. There's a constant battle. Especially when sometimes the battle comes when you're a school owner, you know the value of what you're giving. Yet people that don't see that value want to then start pricing you as meeting the market. Hard. I always say, I need to remind you again of that quote. Don't give your pearls to swine. Don't give it.
Yeah.
The people that see, it will take time. But the people, it's like when you have different types of tailor. Let me even bring it home. You have different types of tailor. When you want to sew simple outfit, like what it's just a simple, no style. Go to your 5K. When you now see one style that you want to go and copy from one celebrity that has corners, have this. If you like, take that your expensive material. Go and give it to that your 5K tailor with the corners. Then when you be crying,
you get
because you've given pearls to swine. So what I'm just saying that there's a constant battle in each and every one of us on a personal level, on a business level. But what I would encourage everyone to do right now is know the value you're giving and give it a premium. Realize that premium value is not for everyone. Value is not for everyone. But once you are convinced in your own mind that this thing I'm giving is value, stick to it. It's tough in the beginning, but stick to it. You find that every time you lower value, you're not bringing your pearls to now be talking to swines to give it to them. So it's a constant battle. Don't think any of us, maybe you can root me out there, but it's a constant battle, and that constant battle is able to give, is able to give for that value, put a premium on it. Okay, that's my own ending statement, which we have to close now. Okay, before I disappear. Rotimi, you're on mute.
Safety tip, just in 5-10 seconds, say something and show your white teeth as well.
I've said all I need to say. I just hope that they pick out something from everything that has been said here today.
Fantastic. So there you have it. Further math is not just a subject. Further math is a life perspective that we're talking about. And we believe that you've learned something today. And we're coming to you tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about something further to make sure that you have no limitations in 2021, regardless of the level you are within and around the world of education. We are going to be speaking about trashing the threats. And on Friday, we're going to be speaking about love in the ear. Not love in the air, but love in the ear. Find out more on the Good Money Education Show. Mondays to Fridays, we're always there. Fantastic show, fantastic people, fantastic subjects, and fantastic results. That's all we are about. And as we sign off, we have one mantra that we always say. We say with confidence because we believe it's going to happen for you, to you, and through you. And you can see how Ugochi is smiling. She's already having a great morning. She's on the Good Morning Education Show. Titi is smiling. She's having a great morning on the Good Morning Education Show. And as you're watching or you watch the replay, this is what we have to say. So ladies, take it off.
It's always a great morning on the
Good Morning Education Show.
Have a fine day. Thank you. Bye.